preceding paid for by the Visitors Bureau of the great state of Montana. Mr. Ciscomani.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Duffy, for being here. I also want to welcome Mr. Tim and Sherry Lilly for being here, and sorry for your loss. Something we want to address and make sure that none of that happens ever again. Mr. Secretary, I remember the first conversation we had. This was back when I was considering this job, and you called and you said, from a father of 6 when I took this job to another father of 6, you can do it. And you even said that you had more kids when you were on the job. I didn't follow that example. I stayed at 6, but it was great knowing you then and meeting you and understanding your passion for families and for our country and what drives you, I think drives many of us in this committee as well. So I want to thank you for that. And I want to start by addressing an issue that is a top priority for everyone here in the subcommittee, obviously, which is aviation safety. And we've been talking about that quite a bit. I really appreciate the prioritization you give this issue in your budget request, and want to highlight a tragic incident that happened in my district. You may be aware of it. On February 19th of this year, 2 small aircraft crashed mid-air, resulting in the death of 2 individuals in Marana, Arizona. It is critical that the federal government works to ensure that something like this never occurs again. I know that's your focus and passion. So can you talk a little bit about, provide an update on how your budget proposal will ensure incidents like this do not occur again, especially in smaller rural airports that are regional and with less resources?
That was tragic. This was in an uncontrolled airspace. So controllers don't control every aspect of the airspace. A lot of the small airports, like in Hayward, Wisconsin, where I'm from, oftentimes it's done by pilots and visually and staying away from each other. And so, and by the way, I don't think general aviation would like air traffic controllers to control every aspect of the airspace. They do like the freedom of movement, but it then creates risks like we saw in your community where 2 planes collided midair. But that's a conversation of what should that role be? Should it be expanded? I'm happy to have that. And I don't know what
the resources part of it of how and the budget, how it addresses some of this.
The resources are this is all inclusive, and again, it's the infrastructure and it's the manpower of air traffic controllers.
Yeah.
And this is what we've been talking about, and we want to work with all of you to pressure test the numbers that we're thinking about. It's important, but it's also what we're seeing. I mean, as Mr. Quigley noted, in Chicago, we had a near miss with the Southwest airplane. And it was, I would think it would be the next, the FlexJet wasn't paying attention to the air traffic controller. But I do think we need our pilots to pay attention. This can be very dangerous. And a lot of the pilots who fly commercially take people's lives in their hands. And it is a serious business, and we want to make sure that all of them are taking it that way. Another thing that we need in part of rural America, we got to think through how we're building out the infrastructure of towers and TRACONs. If I think on average we build 1 a year, it's going to take us 400 years to replace all of the towers and TRACONs in this country. We want to up that. We'd like to do 4 or 5 a year. I mean, up the speed to update the old infrastructure. And a lot of you have those facilities around your districts that need work. And so if we could start the process every year, getting 4 or 5 of them done, I think would be well on the way.
Thank you. On the same line of resources, another incident that happened in Arizona, the New Mexico border as well, is a train carrying cars of hazardous materials fell off the tracks. This was back in last April of last year. It caught fire, and several Arizona and New Mexico residents, as well as Navajo Nation tribal members, had to be evacuated from their homes. Not only was this impactful and negatively to the economy, but also to just posing major health concerns and issues here. So also on the budget and resources side, in terms of freight and rail, can you speak a little bit on that aspect as well?
Yeah, so again, I'm not familiar exactly with the one incident that you're referencing, but I think all of us heard of East Palestine. And again, I do think as we think through FRA and PHMSA and looking at how products that can be dangerous are moving across the rail, how we navigate the rail, what safety policies and procedures we have in place. You're seeing some very exciting advancement in technology around rail. that, again, what we might miss by the human eye, the technology is picking up, and we're actually able to deploy resources and deploy fixes before a derailment could happen. And I think that's critical. Using the manpower along with the technology is going to, I think, bring us more safety.
Thank you so much. I do want to just also thank you for the I-10 completion and process that we want to be sure that we complete here on the widening and the grants. That's a very important highway for not only Arizona, but the entire nation. And look forward to hosting you in Arizona soon. Maybe it's not as cool in the summer as Montana, but any other time of the year would be great to visit you.
It's pretty awesome in January.
Yes, it is. We'll see you then. Thanks.